I am your new favorite, JJ Caballero, not joined by the lovely Goins, Casey Goins, and this is MonoStereoVideo, Monster of the Week, a podcast about movie music. I'm a songwriter, producer, DJ, while Casey is an amazing hairstylist and salon owner, and we love movies and music, and this is the perfect excuse to talk about music and movies and their cultural impact, while Monster of the Week episodes are also a way to explore other topics and dive deeper into certain things. That's what I am doing on these Monster of the Week episodes that are in between our regularly scheduled soundtrack episodes, and I usually do these solo dolo, and that's what I'm doing today. That's how it is. That's what's up. It's the way I wanted it. And okay, so this week I did want to do a little more after our I Saw the TV Glow episode. I had some ideas for some things because I know some people involved, and those things are taking a bit of time. So just going to say not for right now, but in the future, there will be more exploration into I Saw the TV Glow and things that happened, I guess, behind the scenes of that, or behind the scenes of the soundtrack of that, or whatnot. It's something I want to see. I want to talk to somebody because I don't know how artists get on soundtracks, and I find it, or there's many different ways for artists to get on soundtracks and for new up and coming artists to be discovered through soundtracks and things like that. And if there's anybody that I have a chance to talk to who has any sort of insight on that, I'm going to talk to them. So there's stuff in the works. Nothing's happened yet. But that's what I wanted to happen for this episode. But it's fine. It's fine. We're good. You're good. Thank you for tuning in. This week's episode is an in-between episode after soundtrack episodes. So if this is your first episode, I suggest you go back to the previous episode on I Saw the TV Glow. Great episode. Actually kind of a long episode. We have a good discussion, and there's a lot of music to get through, and a lot to talk about that movie. I Saw the TV Glow. Great film. We love it. If you haven't checked it out, check it out, and then check out our episode on the music and just the film in general. But a lot of it was about the music, and we had a great time talking about that. Prior to that, before the Monster of the Week before that, Purple Rain. Talked about Purple Rain. We've also talked about Hackers. We did all of the Twilight soundtracks. We did the majority of Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. I say the majority because there are two films that they just did, and then Nine Inch Nails they did the score for the upcoming Tron film, and also we did the Tron films. We did talk about those. So all of that said, we're covering those consistently. Actually, I believe the next film we will cover will be Queer, directed by Luca, who we've talked about already. Luca Guadagnino. He directed Bones and All. We talk about him on there. He directed a film called Queer, which is based off of the novel of the same name by his name is escaping me. Oh my gosh, William Burroughs. Okay, that just popped up in my head. But so it's based on the novel by William Burroughs, and it stars Daniel Craig, and the soundtrack is by Trent and Atticus, and I believe that's the next film Casey and I will be discussing in studio. Stay tuned for that. Be excited about that. So yeah, if this is your first episode, you got a lot to choose from. A lot of great episodes. We've been on a roll recently with these episodes. Our discussions have been very good, and I'm very happy with how everything's gone with the show. Thank you all if you're returning listeners. Thank you for your consistent support. Thank you for always keeping up with the podcast and for sharing with us your experience in listening to the podcast, our friends, our family that are listening to this. Like, thank you guys for texting us and saying, hey, anything that you guys are, it's like I'm talking to you guys while I'm cleaning, things like that. Like, that's what we want. We want those types of things. So share that stuff with us, send us things, share the podcast with your friends. Share the podcast with your family. If you know people that are movie people, if you know people that are music people and that blend the two worlds, share. Share. That's the biggest way that you could help us. If you are also so inclined, you could help us via the link in the show notes. It is our link tree at MonoStereoVideo. It gives you the link to, first off, my YouTube channel is up there. You could also check out our Depop shop, in which I'm selling physical media. I actually have to send something out tomorrow that I just sold. But anyway, I'm selling physical media on there, consistently updating with new things. Check it out. If you want physical media, CDs, books, tapes, I'm looking for videotapes. I'm looking for records as well. I'm going to start selling that stuff. But keep on the lookout for that. The Depop shop for the MonoStereoVideo Depop is pretty bumping right now. And I'm very excited about that. I'm very thankful for you for supporting us that way as well. You could also buy shirts in the Casa Caballero web store, on the Casa Caballero web store. Casa Caballero web store also has deep cuts, shirts, and totes. That's Casey's salon. Also has JJ Caballero gear. You could check out my stuff, get some merch, and represent my music. My new EP is out on all the streaming platforms, but you could totally directly help me out or directly support me on Bandcamp. That's the easiest way to get all your JJ Caballero needs. Thank you. Your support is greatly appreciated. Very much so. Very happy to do this, even without support financially. But if you can and you can help, it totally helps out. This is a labor of love, and if anything, we're super grateful to you for just being here, right now. It's perfect. And I'm by myself right now. And you've been listening to me for about 7 minutes, so that's very nice of you. Thank you. I hope I am providing something for you. I don't know what I want to provide. Maybe comfort, maybe companionship. I mean, me and Casey can provide that with our voices. Maybe I have a very good voice and you're just very comforted by it. I don't know. I have no idea. Today's episode, though, if you read the title, it's not going to be comforting. Today I'm going to talk about Los Angeles. Not a very long episode. Because it gets me, I'm very mad about it right now. And I've been riling myself up already all day, just clicking through all the social media and all the news and getting updates consistently about the destruction of democracy that is going on right now in the United States. And it pisses me off. So I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I do want to talk on this because I love the city of Los Angeles. First off, we have friends there, we have family there. Love it. We want to be there. We want to be there. That's exactly where we want to be. Also, it's also a pretext for what is going to possibly happen throughout the country. If we don't push back. And if more people don't push back, we just need to consistently push back. It's just very prescient. Things like this, there's a lot of misinformed voices that are being, put on a pillar. They're being amplified is the word I'm looking for, actually. A lot of misinformed voices are being amplified. There's a lot of misinformation out there. I even saw some crazy fucking AI videos about what's going on in Los Angeles, trying to paint the situation much more dire than it actually is. So if you haven't kept up with the news of the day, if some of you, and I have friends that have done this, and I myself am trying to do this, but I haven't. And it seems as though I can't. Some of you have just dropped off all social medias, all media in general, are kind of just leading your lives, are more involved in work, are picking up different hobbies, are doing more working out, are reading more. We're trying to do that too here and there. We're trying to read more, trying to touch grass a little bit more. But also, like, I just, there's so much going on right now. And like, I've had to do a bunch of like music release stuff, and like, I can't pull away from what's going on the internet. So to those of you who are not informed of what's happening, ICE, the immigration, the immigration police, are being used by the government in very aggressive ways. Yes. Do people get deported from the United States? Yes. Barack Obama deported a bunch of people. He was actually called the deporter in chief. Joe Biden actually deported more people than Donald Trump did in his first year as president, or in his first term as president. Joe Biden, the previous president, deported more people than Donald Trump did, and they did it by illegal means, which means that they gave people due process. I can't say that they did that to everybody. I'm sure there was like due process, like eliminated from some certain circumstances, which, you know, is also something that people like us fight against. You know, just because there's a D in front of somebody's name doesn't make them less, I don't know, harmful to the border and xenophobic, and, you know, it doesn't make them any less willing to enact racist policies. So that, you know, we live in a border city. I also wanted to talk about this because I live on the border. I'm based out of El Paso, Texas. Casa Caballero, Studio Caballero, where I'm at right now, is in El Paso, Texas. I can see Mexico from my window here. And I mean, there's no invasion. I can tell you there's no violence. I can tell you there's no squalor that's trying to get over here to infect or dirty up or what have you. There's nothing really like popping off, okay? Like the Trump regime would have you believe. As well, there are reports on the ground from Los Angeles. So ICE raids are being conducted in Los Angeles. ICE, the modern day Gestapo, is going into places where traditional, I guess, immigration operations wouldn't happen. You know, traditional immigration operations possibly inform these people that they have to appear in court on certain days. If they are needed to be apprehended by ICE, ICE will go maybe to their home during certain hours, or, you know, there's more of an attempt and more of a, it's violent still, it's ugly still, but it's not as bad as it's not as horrendous as what is happening now. ICE is going to people's places of work. ICE is going to family graduations, Father's Day gatherings, or graduation gatherings, parties people are going to. I saw a video where a man was taken by ICE, and he was on a plane, and he'd been on a plane. He had a job that had him travel back and forth, and like just out of nowhere they scooped him up on a fucking plane. And they're doing it by pretty much illegal means. In LA, as well as around the US, and as well here in El Paso, immigration judges, right? Like people that are trying to do the correct, the quote unquote right thing, and quote unquote do it the right way, and immigrate to the United States through a whole process, getting days in courts. Like they're showing up to their days in court. The judge is dismissing their cases, and through some loophole of the law, they're able to be escorted off the premises and deported, and put into a pretty much kind of black bagged and put into a van and deported. That's insane. That's insane. Like, without any sort of due process, these people are just being shipped off. When many of us know, as Trump was on the campaign trail, he was promising to go after all the vicious criminals and thugs, and he duped so many, like, unsuspecting Latin people into voting for him. And then he's kind of turning around and like they're deporting a lot of those people, man. They're deporting those people's people. They're deporting Venezuelans, Cubans, Salvadorans, Mexicans, even some country like some Europeans like are being deported. It's fucking crazy. They even deported U.S. citizens because we got birthright citizenship, right? There were kids, a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 7-year-old were all deported with their mom. I believe the 4-year-old had cancer. They deported that kid. American citizen, born on American soil, deported because of their mother, who is undocumented. Also, being undocumented in this country is not illegal. They're trying to make it illegal. They're trying to force the blame. They're saying now that just crossing the border is without the proper documentation is illegal. But there are people who cross the border when that wasn't illegal who have been here for many, many, many years. They're deporting people who've been here for 10, 15, 20 years. Mothers, fathers, people who have established themselves in communities. And in Los Angeles in particular, like, they're going heavy. They went heavy. They went full force in anticipation of... So because of this, the people of Los Angeles decided to stand up and say, no more. We can't have this happen. And they showed up to the sites, as people have been across the United States. I don't know if you all have seen, but I've seen many videos online of people confronting these ICE, quote-unquote, ICE officers, and demanding to see their face because, one, they are... most of the time, they have a face covering. They're ashamed of it, so they're covering their face. 2, they're asking like badge numbers because, as an American citizen, as somebody who pays the salaries through their taxes, we're allowed to know that stuff, and we have the right, and they are supposed to tell us these things. We can demand their names. They have to tell us this shit. They're not doing any of this at all. They're not showing up with any sort of warrant signed by any sort of judge. They're going full-blown fascist. We are in a fascist country now. Like, this is happening now. This is all happening now. This is happening across the United States. And now, and it was happening heavy in Los Angeles. And the people stood up. People stood up. And because of this, Donald Trump had the foreknowledge. This was being planned, for sure. Like, because of this, as the provoker-in-chief that he is, he decides, I'm going to send troops. I'm going to send more ICE agents. I'm going to militarize as much as I can, get all these people, the National Guard, sending the National Guard out there. Further escalating the tensions between the people protesting and the ICE agents and their operation and such. So essentially, police... the guard, the National Guard, are being militarized against protesters. And for the most part, it's been peaceful protesting until the cops decide to push back, until the fuzz decides to push back, until the pigs decide that they want to use all their fancy equipment and harm innocent people that just want to protect their community. They're met with tear gas. They're met with fucking rubber bullets. The injuries from these, they call them semi-lethal or less than lethal weapons, are still insane. You can look on the internet and see reporters who have been hit by these projectiles, and there's huge welts. There's like big scars. They're less lethal, but I mean, if you shoot somebody in the head with that shit or in the eye, like, they're fucking losing the eye, or they're gonna die, or they can cause death, man. Like, the stuff that the National Guard and the LAPD are geared up with is no doubt military grade crazy shit. They got bear mace shit, like you know, crowd control shit is over the top for sure. The mayor of Los Angeles and the governor of California do not want this. They have all said that Trump's escalation is making the situation into a bigger issue than it is, quote unquote issue. I'm on the side of the lefties. I'm on the side of the undocumented. I'm on the side of we gotta fight this shit. But their neutral asses and their governing asses and they're right to say, like, what's happening is only happening within a certain radius of Los Angeles, downtown LA, but also in little pockets in Paramount, in Downey, California. There's bordering cities, things as such, and in small pockets. Donald Trump is trying to make it seem as though the city is on fire, as if we are in LA riot mode, and he usurped the power of the governor to actually call in the National Guard. The governor did not want this. Donald Trump, the California National Guard, Donald Trump took it over, federally took it over, and decided to deploy them on all these innocent people. And he's also, like, I believe in the last few hours, he may have, like, the military is out there, Marines are out there. They're like sleeping on the floor and certain things. There's certain task forces who are doing certain drills for crowd control. There's been aerial footage of those people. Like, Donald Trump is ready for war with protesters. That's what's happening. And he's already been interviewed about this many times. He's painting the situation as if it's immigrant illegal thugs and people that are paid by Soros and Democratic ops who are ruining the city or setting businesses on fire, or setting cars on fire. And granted, Waymos are being set on fire. Fuck, I don't fucking care. Who gives a fuck about a Waymo? There has been reported, like, I've seen people do a bunch of graffiti, busting things down. Some people have taken the opportunity to loot, but I don't think it's anything significant at all. Like, it hasn't been anything super significant, not enough to deter or to ask for this sort of response from the government. So that's all happening. Newsom doesn't want this. Like, it's a very dangerous situation. It's a powder keg, and Donald Trump wants this to happen all across the United States. People are already rising up in different cities. Here in my city, there was a protest outside of the federal court. A small but mighty crowd formed, and their voices were very loud, and their signs were super fucking cool. And I wish I was there, but I'm very grateful for them being there. Those people were out today. There's, big protests happening in, like, New York, Chicago, like bigger cities. The protests are still going on in LA, and different parts of LA, people are gathering in bigger crowds, and still, for the most part, everything is peaceful, man. Like, peaceful protest is what everybody preaches and what the government wants from us, peaceful protest, whatever. And it's happening. Peaceful protest is happening. There's a protest happening on Saturday the 14th, this coming Saturday, that I'm going to join. Maybe, I don't know. I'm recording. I'm actually going to, I don't know. And I mean, everybody's going to be there. So there's one happening. It's called No Kings, because Trump is planning a military parade for his birthday in Washington, D.C. as a show of force and strength from a big, strong man. And like, we've never had like a military parade like that. Only like teapot dictatorships have military parades like that. So that's happening. But also the rest of the country is going to be in protest of this man and of the bullshit that he has been putting the public through. It's insane. There's a lot going on. Los Angeles, my heart is out to you. Chinga la migra. Fuck ICE, right? Fuck them. Like, fuck them up too. Like, I don't care about the violence that is done to the cops out there. I don't care what the violence done to ICE. I don't care about the violence done to anybody protecting, like, Border Patrol out there. Anybody protecting this institution, these thugs. I don't give a fuck about what happens to them. You know what I mean? Like, it's It's insane. They've caused enough trauma and enough pain and enough violence to offset any sort of like lobbing of rocks at their vehicles or throwing of scooters at their cars or any sort of like distraction from their jobs that they're doing. Like, fuck them. Straight up. Like, that's it. Like, so all of this stuff to say, this is Nazi shit. This is fascist shit. This is authoritarian shit. Trump's already threatening different protests that they will be met with the full force. If there's any protest in DC happening on his birthday, they're going to be met with a lot of force. And what the fuck does that mean? You know? Now, from what I understand, like, the Marines aren't out in the streets just yet. They're still doing some training. By the time they get out in the streets out there, like, who knows if the people are even gonna be out anymore? Like, they're still. It's such a waste of taxpayer money for first, you know, that too. But this is just fascist shit. This is the pretext. And Trump wants to do this everywhere, and he wants to have the power and the might. Texas, here where I'm at, our governor is already like saying like, hey, if there's anything that happens with these protests, I got the National Guard on lock. Like, already threatening. Nothing's even happened yet. Like, nobody's even protested like that yet here in Texas. There was some Austin. There was a protest demonstration in Austin where the cops got fucking violent. Also in Dallas as well. I think he's deploying troops to, like, he wants to deploy troops to Houston, Dallas, Austin, to make a show of force as well. Our governor is a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. He's trying to do that. They're trying to do this like strongman shit. It's fascist shit, and we can't stand for it. And it's only going to get worse the more we allow it to progress and to push forward. So I guess that's why I wanted to talk about this on this episode and say, if you can, and if you're able to, I don't even want to say if you're willing to, like, if you are able to, get out there. Get out on the streets. If you feel any sort of anything in your heart about this, if anything that I'm saying, if you're agreeing, if you're nodding along, if you're getting mad as I'm getting mad, if you feel what I feel right now, like, get out there. I personally, I'm making it out when I can, not making it out to everything. I wish I could. And I'm going to push myself more to do that because people need to be out there in full force. More of us need to be out there. Now, do all of us need to be gathered in one space and you know, show that, oh, this is one big group of people who are against you? No. Small pockets of tons of people demonstrating. This whole 50-51 organization that's out there organizing the No King's Day protest has the right idea, because it's many cities doing the same thing at one time. So that's bigger. That's bigger than just like 1 million people in one place that can be corralled by 2 million cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of cops out there. There's a lot of fucking pigs out there. There's a lot of insane dudes who will push against this, and we can't let that happen. You know, like, it's just time to fight back. Like, it's punk rock time. It's time to be punk. And if you're listening to this, and if you're any sort of like older punker who grew up listening to the Descendants and Misfits, and you're at the shows and you're rocking, like, you got to remember, this is what punk rock is about. Like, this is what it is. This is where we're at. Like, these are our moments. These are our moments where we can be there for each other. Solidarity is needed in these situations. voices are needed, bodies are needed, people are needed in these situations. Yeah, they got the law, or quote unquote law, or they got the establishment on their side. That's what they have. They have the full support of the establishment. But the establishment is nothing without the people. You know what I'm saying? They think they are. They think they're metal, and they think they control everything. But we have our power. We make our voices heard, and that's proven because of the things that we've won already. You know, I also want to say this: like, there's a lot of guff being given to protesters out there about doing things the quote unquote right way, doing things the peaceful way, quote unquote. Violent resistance is not morally wrong. Violent resistance is what won the American Revolution. It's what won the Mexican Revolution. It is what pushed people to get rid of Jim Crow laws and the Jim Crow South. It pushed the racists into their corners. It pushed the Klan into its hiding space. It pushed the Confederacy into their corner stores selling their little stupid flags. You know what I'm saying? Like, it pushed the French. The French know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, protesters in Hong Kong, man, know what the fuck is up, for sure. But none of these things happened by people just being lovey-dovey and, like, kumbaya about this shit. It happened because people pushed back. That's how these things happen. That's how democracy is saved. Okay? That, like, democracy dies when we accept the status quo, or we accept the opposition, right? We accept the rhetoric, the framing of the situation. That's how this dies, you know? And we're in a moment where we could save it. And I have there's a tiny bit of you listening, probably small handful, a tiny handful of you listening to these Monster of the Week episodes right now. But even you can be the light in your family, can be the force to reckon with. It is cool to stand up right now. It is cool to push back. It's not cool to ignore the situation or to just be complicit with whatever is happening. And, you know, if you expect that the politicians are going to solve this situation, or just the situation will solve itself, that's what people have been expecting this whole fucking time. That's what people have been expecting since the inception of this country. Like, there have been people that have been there, and what they don't see is that there's actually fighting that goes on. You know, Martin Luther King, yeah, he was a peaceful man. He was a pacifist at times, but he was also a radical and a socialist, and he had a loud mouth about this shit, and he organized things, and people did push back. Like, he wasn't the silent dove. He was on fucking the FBI watch list. Like, they were tapping his phones. Like, he was public enemy number one. Like, fucking history can be whitewashed, and it has been. And we need to learn that, or we need to wake up to that, and understand that we're being called to this again. Like, as Americans, for sure, as Americans, like, we're being called to this. Yeah, it's time. It's go time. Like, can't give an inch. You know, you don't want to be the insider. You don't want to be the instigator. You don't want to be the one lighting the wick, right? But You can be water, you can let it flow. But water is a very powerful force, and the waves happen, and the waves can hit you, and waves can kill people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a lot of power behind who we are and what we do. Be mindful of it, you know? That's also the thing too. I was reading I was reading an article about like the whitewashing of like yoga and meditation and these things as like wellness and health and learning about yourself, when in all actuality, like a lot of these practices are developed because to work out for resistant acts. Like Rosa Parks was a yoga practitioner. She was an activist, and she did yoga. I believe she meditated. It's one of those things where you practice the calmness in the face of the insanity in front of you, right? And you learn to have the patience to stand your ground and be there. So do your yoga, do your breathing, do your meditations, because you're going to need that rest. There's a lot of guides out there. I think I'm going to post the links in the show notes, but there's a lot of stuff out there for people to, you know, what gear they should wear to protests, the legality of what they can do and what they can't do. I kind of wanted to, like, there's a lot of information, and I don't want to give you false information. So I'd rather have links as a resource there. But, you know, for sure, heat-resistant gloves, goggles. You want to mask up, headgear if it's so necessary. Headgear. You know, this is not for everything. You know, there's gonna be protests out there with kids, moms, grandmas, grandpas, and they're not gonna be wearing like all the tactical gear and stuff, and that's fine. That's fine. But for some of those other of you, there's stuff that you gotta prepare yourself for. You know, you gotta get layers. You gotta get like knee pads. You gotta heat resistant gloves, because the tear gas and shit, those canisters are hot. Use what they have against them. You know, umbrellas. I saw a video of people taking their like their battery powered wind blowers to to blow back the smoke from the tear gas, and it's pretty glorious to see that like go back on the cops and shit. It's pretty fucking funny. I saw, you know, people are talking about gas masks and makeshift balaclavas, things like that. So there's a lot of information there I'll gather so that you can be prepared. However you're going to approach this, it's totally fine. You know, as long as you're there and you're standing and your voice is heard, like, it's all that's asked of you. You know, you don't need to be the most militant person. Those of you listening, though, who are on that other end of this, just be careful out there. Keep an eye, because they're keeping an eye on you. You know, these cameras going up everywhere too. That shit's being used against us. They got drones. You know what I'm saying? Like, watch your face. You weren't there. You know, I didn't see you there. Nobody saw you there. We didn't see you there. You weren't there. Yeah, easy as that. Easy as that. I think I've said all I wanted to say, because I'm getting myself riled up about this. I love you, LA. Fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. Like, I can't say it with enough anger. Like, I can't say it with enough, like, what I'm feeling right now. Like, it's fuck ICE. Fuck ICE. Chinga la Migra. Free Palestine. And I'll listen to you later.